Hi gang, it's Hexy. Welcome back to some counterattack, the Battle of Arras 1940. Alright, so we've gotten through 2 turns, and we're into getting ready to start turn 3. Okay, so a couple of cool concepts about this game. Oh, once again, this is my first area movement game. I can't ever remember playing one, so let's go over here and take a look at this. So this is the turn record track. Might be a little hard to see, sorry. All right, so you have game turns. They're an hour long, all right? And then you have impulses within the game turns. All right, so you have this little chit here. And this little chit is one side is Axis advantage, and the other side is the Allies, all right? So whoever, you roll the dice to determine momentum. Whoever has the momentum, they got the advantage, all right? And then you have the impulses, all right? So the turn that starts, they start with an impulse. Now, during an impulse, you can conduct a move in combat, a combat, or a bombard. Okay? So what it is you pick one area, and all the units in that area can execute something. All right? They don't have to all be the same thing. And then when that's over, you go to the next impulse. Now, starting with the second impulse, you roll a die. So on the second impulse, if you roll a 1, you lose momentum, and the counter resets to 1, and then the advantage marker flips over to the other side. And you keep doing that till either both pass or there's just nothing else you can do. All right? So, and I've never gotten down to 6. I think I got to the impulse 5 one time, but that's about it. You got a victory point track over here to your right, which is really not doing anything just yet. It doesn't till the Allies get down into this area here, these little red zones, and start taking those. There's nothing. There's no victory points for them to earn. Or they can earn an automatic victory by taking Zone B or Zone A, which is right. There's Zone B, and there's Zone A over yonder. So, and that's an automatic victory. If they can capture those and have a clear trace back to E, which is all the way up there, all right, then that's an automatic victory. And the Germans are the same way. They take E and come all the way back down to here. So the Germans have a victory determination of if they hold Arras and there are no, it's either none or it's one or less areas on the south side of the Scarpe, the canal or river, whatever you want to call it. All right, so like I said, we've been through 2 turns. You have this game's got some interesting little rules to it that are kind of really I think they're a nice touch. So casualties. So here's these guys over here to the left are completely eliminated from the game. Okay, so these guys, trying to do this on a tripod. This is coffee table combat. All right, so those guys right there, like this guy here. There were 2 of those in the box over there in the eliminated box. And on the reorganization phase, if you have 2 of the same type of unit, you can put one back in play on his full side, and then you have to eliminate 1 unit. So and of course now, I've got an artillery unit sitting over there that I don't have anybody to match him with. So it's kind of a cool replacement and casualty rule. I can't, like I said, I know I said it in the intro that I played other games that have, replacements. Most games do, and reinforcement, but I've never played one that has this kind of system. All right, so let's catch up with the game and how it's been playing here. You zoom all the way back out. All right. So, like I say, we played 2 hours, and the Allies, and it's weird because when you do combat, you pick, so if I move, like, all of these units right here, they moved in here and they attacked. You only use the attack strength of the lead unit that you pick. And then the defender gets to pick his lead unit as defense. And then you get an extra point for each friendly unit you have in the attack. You don't get their combat strength, you get 1 point. And then you have leaders, like here's Rommel. You'll get 1 point for a leader being in the attack. Rommel on the attack will provide 2. And it's the same for the defender. He would pick this unit here because he has a defense of 4. And then he would get 1 for this guy, 1 for this guy, 1 for this guy, 1 for this guy, and 1 for this guy. Okay? And then you get that little thing right there, the little plus modifier for the zone you're in. And of course, some zones like the city, there's a +3. All right, so depending on the terrain, Tilloy is a +3. So they're different. Artillery bombardment. You can artillery bombard. You use the strength of the artillery unit, which this guy over here is a 3. All right, if he has another artillery unit, which can be anywhere, can't be the SS unit, can't help the Wehrmacht. But there's 2 Wehrmachts, one's eliminated. So if he had the second one firing, he would get +2 for that guy, so it'd be 5. And he could shoot one of these armored units in this hex here, and you don't use anything on the counter. You use that little plus thing right there. And if there happens to be 4 units in here or more, that artillery gets another point. And you roll 2 dice, one for the defender, one for the attacker, and the difference in between is the number of what they call attrition points that you have to lose. So if he fires against this hex and he's targeting that tank unit, and the die roll differential is +3, this guy has to remove 3 attrition points. And how you do that is in the game, you have, like for bombardment, you have this little chart. If I can get it where you all can see it. You have this little chart right here where my thumb is, and that's how you account for attrition points. So if you eliminate a fresh unit, there's 3 of your attrition points. All right, so you've got those 4 options right there, which include retreat or spent units or whatever. So the units have 2 sides. They have their fresh side, and then they have their spent side. There's no. It's not like they're kind of 2-step units in a way. So after these units conduct an action, whether it's movement or combat or whatever, they flip to their spent side, and they can no longer move or attack. They can defend, but that's it. All right. When you're attacking, you move into the zone with where the enemy is to attack, and then once again you pick the highest unit, and you pick your lead unit, and you pick your unit over here, and then you do all your modifiers, but each side rolls 2 dice, and then you apply the differential. So I thought to myself, well, this is going to make this game just be done in no time at all. And I was wrong. Because it's kind of hard to get massive differential attacks. Now the French and the British have a little bit better opportunity. But, this is one of those games where if you're going to attack with the Germans, you're probably going to make some minus differential attacks when you initially attack, and you got to hope for good die rolls or good modifiers. Okay, so that's how the basis of this works. So right now we've got the French have punched through across the Scarpe, the river part here. They've gotten all the way down. They actually took this zone and then got knocked out of it. The Germans moved in and moved out. They took it back. SS Commander Eiche is still holding on to this over here, but he's probably got to move away. He does have a defensive 1. The Brits moved down here. They took this, and they've taken Agincourt. So, and of course, they're trying to keep Arras. You don't want the Germans to take Arras. So the Allies will probably keep pushing. The Germans don't have a ton of stuff here. Not this turn, but the next turn, since the French cavalry got activated, I had to roll for this group. They failed their roll, so they have to wait an entire turn before they get activated, and that's pretty much it for the German armor. They do have some units over here that are optional, the 5th Panzer that can come on. They're sitting off the board over here. I got them sitting on the turn record track that way in case I do, I'm going to read the optional rule on them. You also have air for optional rule, but I haven't used it, and I probably should. I think it works kind of like artillery in a way. All right, so there you have it. That's this is Hexy playing his first area movement game. Okay, so what's my initial evaluation of it? It's fun. So much easier to handle the counters when you have those big old areas to sit them in. If you want to stack like I did there, if you don't, that's fine. Spread them out so you can see them. So it gives you an interesting perspective. You're really not having to worry about terrain yourself because the numbers in here account for it, unless you're attacking across these rivers or the canal. Even if there's a bridge, there's die roll modifiers for that. Movement, it actually does have a zone of control. So like if this unit here were to move into this hex, normally it would be 1. But since it's adjacent to an enemy-occupied hex, it now becomes 2. To move into a hex to attack takes 4 movement points. There's a chart for that too. So you pretty much waste everything you got. There's no points spent to make the attack. All right, you track location markers. Just use the British ones. I imagine if the Germans go across the river and attack up towards that zone E up there, then you would use the other side of these are the German cross, and you would just flip those over. So right now you can see where the hole is. The Germans did try to attack in here and got their butts handed to them, thus causing some losses. The Brits are trying to put together, they don't necessarily need to attack, but with this big old gap being opened up over here, and these 3 Germans are casualty replacements, and you can see there's 3 units over to the left over there that got eliminated. And the Brits also have 3 units that are completely eliminated. And actually, 2 of them are quite substantive. All right. So there's no combat results table. You fight, you do a differential on an attack. If the attacker loses, the lead unit takes a step loss, and everybody else gets spent. And you can either retreat or stay there. If you move into an enemy-occupied, uncontested area, you have to attack. That's a mandatory attack. If it's a stalemate, the attackers become spent, and they can either stay or they can retreat. And if it's a defender loss, he's got to account for all the attrition points from the die roll differential, which could be retreats, losses, whatever, okay? All right, so this is through 2 turns, 2 hours of the Battle of Arras counterattack 1940 from Revolution Games. Having a little fun with this. This one, I don't think this is going to, I think by tomorrow I should be done with this. Well, I'll play a lot of golf tomorrow, so maybe by Sunday. And I think also we're going to be playing our Oosterbeek, our It Never Snows game tomorrow. I think we're going to triple play that one again. So I think that's at like 5 o'clock Eastern time. All right, this is Hexy. Let me get this thing posted up so that y'all can see what's going on after 2 game turns. All right, we'll talk to y'all soon.